Louder. Even in the session there, it was like Akhanda Mandalagaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam. If the students' participation is not very vibrant, the teacher will also feel very dull. I also feel like saying, okay, whatever, read the shloka. Can you all give me some encouragement? Please. Pretty please. Nadatte kasyachit papam. Vah. Nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu. Ajnane navratam jnanam. Tena muhyanti jantavaha. Jnane natu tadajnanam. Yesham nashitamatmanaha. Tesham adityavat jnanam. Prakashayati tatparam. In the field of karma, it is unlike the banking sector, that you take a certain loan and then you have to keep paying it back, and that which you pay back will fill the gap, and one day you will be redeemed of your debt. The field of karma is not like banking sector, that if you do something wrong, something which is a sin, doing something good so that that bad will be filled, it doesn't happen. Good has its own track, bad has its own track. Both results have to be experienced by that very individual. I'm almost tempted to put some scare in you. Should I? Thoda bahut? You're like, what? Bring it on. बहुतों को देखे हैं डराने वाले. I don't know which Rishi, but this particular Rishi was caught in an unwarranted situation. The queen of that kingdom had lost her personal jewels. A thief had crawled in and swept away with all her personal jewels. And the soldiers were running after him, and that fellow very conveniently hid himself. And while he was hiding, in that attempt to hide, he took all these jewels, hid them under a rishi who was meditating, lost completely in his meditation. It was under his asana. And the thief also had long hair. This rishi also had long hair. He was also slender. This rishi also was very slender. The thief was also looking dark. The rishi was also looking dark. So they thought that thief must have been trying to fool us by looking like a mendicant, and they found the proof. They found the jewels right underneath. So circumstantial evidence, red-handedly caught. Who was it? Do you know the Rishi? This comes in Ramayana. So the king passes the verdict that he should be punished. And in that particular kingdom, for such punishments, it was to be pierced from head to toe. And he was pierced head to toe. And within few moments, he died. And he went to meet, like on the threshold of, on the borders of Swarga and Naraka, there is Mr. Chitrakoot. He is Yama's secretary. So he goes and protests with Chitrakoot. This ain't fair. Right since I was about 4 or 5 years of age, I have been in that ashram and I have been given these practices. I don't see myself having done anything wrong. Why? How would I be punished so unjustified? So Chitrakoot, starts tracing it back, and he's like, his eyes are popping out because his life is an exemplary life. Did we do a mistake? Did we really do something wrong? He's flipping it back, going all the way back, day by day he's flipping. Yama is sitting there on the edge of his seat. Usually Yama is the thriller of everyone's life. This Rishi's presence in Chitrakoot's office was his edge of the seat. He was getting terrified that, did I do something wrong? I'm also known as Dharma Raja. And how could I have done something wrong like this? So he was on the edge of the seat, biting his nails off. I went back all the way to the age when this Rishi was about 4 years of age. How old was he? When he was 4 years of age, he had this practice of catching hold of dragonfly. Do you know dragonfly? Catching hold of this dragonfly, plucking the tail out and piercing it with straw, grass straw, and then playing with it. Chitrakoot relaxed. Yahan pe hai. That it was not unwarranted, but it was that action that you had performed then. That this is the result of that action. That you had done some jiva himsa. Lucky for him, that Rishi, he had done only once sometime in his childhood some jiva himsa. अब तेरा क्या होगा कालिया? सरकार, मैंने तो नमक खाया आपके, तो अब गोली खा. But there are no accidents in this creation. There are only incidents. Maybe that which we call as accidents are those for which we are not able to ascertain a proper reason that I know of. But everything that we have done or not done, both kinds of sin, vihitam avihitam va. I was supposed to do something, it was my responsibility, and I neglected it. That becomes a sin. I was not supposed to do something, and I gleefully indulged in it. That also becomes a sin. And the moment I recognize that I have done something wrong, then go to the Lord and start doing different kinds of upachara with the anticipation that that which I have done wrong should be washed away. Law of karma doesn't work that way. Yes, sir. I thought you had a question. Have you ever tried explaining a 2-3-year-old or even a 4-year-old how it rains? How would you explain? Boring. Yuck. Chi. Your kid would be sleeping halfway through. If you tell him the entire water cycle of water turning into water vapor, condensing, and then the cloud reaching to the point of condensation that it cannot hold together, it starts raining. Yeah. For a 4-year-old, you don't tell such things. Boring schools. I'll tell you how my grandmother told me. That in the Swarga, up in the space, Indra has an elephant. And that elephant is really white in color. And it's a very naughty, mischievous elephant. So whenever Indra's people catch hold of it, they find the opportunity to clean it. That water when you tell somebody who is not with an evolved understanding, you tell them a story. At that age, it may sound good, but that doesn't mean that that story has a validity of truth to it. It was a story. But as we evolve to know better than that story is the true process of evolution. So if you observe, especially Satyanarayana Katha, there are 5 stories. What is the first story? What wrong did he do? Let's come to the point. All 5 are 5 different wrongs that they have done, if you observe. So what did the king do? No, that is not the first one. The first one is he promises to do the puja and he fails to do the puja. The second one is that he does not distribute the prasada. The third one is where he does not partake the prasada. And the fifth one is unfulfilled promise. All 5 are trying to infuse a certain bhaya. See, what kind of people turn to God? There are 2 kinds of people, bhaya or bhakti. Which one is nobler? Anybody can tell bhakti is nobler than bhaya, fear. Isn't it? But for a mind which is not evolved, bhakti is not something that they will relate to. Many of these so-called superstitions must have come in when they wanted to infuse a certain discipline into the younger minds, when they would not listen. I'll tell you my last Satyanarayana Katha or Vrata that I very clearly remember. My grandmother used to say when I would come back from school that in haste I would remove my shoes and they would be all over the place. And she would tell me that if your shoe falls upside down, you will get stomachache. See, that is why you are here. So she used to say that you will have stomachache. And we had Satyanarayan Katha, there were about 50, 60 families. And where was I? I was busy outside flipping all shoes. I remember, man, that day the prasada that I got, I was whacked blue and black. My experiment was, if that is true, I have such good experiment, specimens. Let me try. All 60, 70 sets of shoes, I flipped them out. And I went inside and started eagerly waiting. Kiska stomach pain hoga? But at that age, the kid will not understand when you say that it is the value of the shoe, it has to be maintained properly, it has to have a longevity. It doesn't get in. So at that time, what do you teach? Instill some bhaya. And then evolve slowly towards reasoning, logic and understanding. That does not mean that that fear was ultimate reality. Am I getting across, sir? So I'm saying there are two kinds of people. Those who go from bhaya and those who go with bhakti. Those who are around you, your wife, your children, how do you want them to relate to you? Out of fear or out of love? Why not fear? Love me or else. I've never had to be in such situation, so you will have to tell me more. Haji? हाँ, that is why मैं बिंदास बोलता हूँ, मैं किसी का दास नहीं. So you want them to love you and not out of fear, right? So even when we go to God, that perception, many go because it is out of fear. That I have done something wrong, I have done something, they have started. That starting point is fine, but that is not end of all. They have to evolve towards bhakti. Therefore, in the Puranas, the Purana Shaili also uses the same technique wherein bhayatva bhaktirva. First they start with bhaya. And I say, nah, I don't think this, God can be like this. Okay, then listen to the next aspect of it. So there is two different mindsets that it is catering to. Right? Now what is the subtler concept that we have to evolve to? Whatever actions that I am performing, I alone have to take complete responsibility of it. Own up. Just because I'm doing something good in lieu of something that I have done bad, the result of that bad is not going to be wiped away. But instead, the process of repentance, do you know, many, even in Hindi or in Indian native languages, there's a word for repentance. Do you know what is the word for it? That's such a beautiful word. What is paschatapa? The action is already done. Tat paschat, after that, tapa. There is constant agitation. Paschat, you have done something wrong, And after that, your mind is constantly agitated and restless. That is called paschatapa. Now, in order to help you go through that paschatapa, the process that is prescribed is called prayaschitta. Chitta means the antakarana. To settle that antakarana so that it gains some strength to go through that restlessness, there is some tapas, there is some penance prescribed. This penance does not mean that it is going to null all the wrong that you have done. That once in 60 years, this kind of Kumbh Mela. Go there, take a merge into that, submerge into that and take a bath. All the papa of all your lives is washed away. Really? What does that mean? See, Kabir Das ji pulls a fast one on that. He says, if that were true, the fish that is swimming in Ganga ji should have attained moksha long time ago. But that fish staying in Ganga ji, पानी में मीन प्यासी रे, मुझे देखत लागे हासी रे. But why are these kinds of prescriptions given? That you recognize that you have done something wrong and you are ready to own it up. Therefore, you are ready to put that effort, that tapas. And that tapas will not remove your past, remove your bad. It helps strengthen your present mind to go through the repercussions of the wrong that you have done. Haji.
But for a given wrong, one know that Paschatapa is.
So whenever you do wrong, contact me. For such things, contact the other yellow in your house. She is wearing yellow today, therefore. But for something grave, I'll give you a once in a month. Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte. Whenever in confusion, go to the scriptures. When we can't understand the scriptures, go to that person that understands the scriptures and can tell us what kind of prayaschitta that has to be performed. In all sincerity. Now here, another twist is, we go to God saying that, why are you punishing me for? God says, na adatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu. As God, He has got nothing to do directly or indirectly with what we do as papa or punya. It is squarely in our own laps. It is our responsibility. You have gone to Chuck E. Cheese? But 15 years ago, when I get come and say, Swamiji, we are celebrating our child's birthday, Chuck E. Cheese. उस समय मेरा भी कुछ time पास के लिए कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं था. I didn't know what Chuck E. Cheese was. I also went. And then I was like, why am I here? But luckily, good that I had gone. That's where I picked this up from. There is this particular console which is called Whack-A-Mole. Have you seen it? These sharks and fishes keep popping up and you have a rubber hammer and you smack them. And kids love doing it. Have you seen that? Do you remember? Have you played it? Oh, good. Then I'm talking to the crowd. Do you think God is like that? You, me, everyone is like the shark jumping across and he's like, Aaj kisko pitu? Who should I bash up today? Okay, this fellow. Breakfast ka hai? Haan. And now after breakfast, who do I bash now? Do you think he has no better work? The laws of nature and the results of laws of nature are ordained in such a way that you go according to the laws of nature and you get benefited. You go against it, you get reprimanded. Bhagwan, I have complete faith and trust in you. I am putting my finger into the socket. Protect me. Ha बैल मुझे मार. And if I were sitting in Bhagwan's position, I would have said, put the second set of fingers on the downside, एक साथ खत्म हो जाए. बुद्धू बेवकूफ. And we do all the such things and say, Bhagwan did not protect. I was praying. अरे हद कर दी. Another perspective. You as parents with regards to your children. Do they emotionally torture you sometimes? Twist your arms. I have not asked you anything. In fact, that which you are planning for my birthday, I don't want it. You can give it now. You don't need to give me anything then. Have your kids played this trick on you? And if the thing that they are asking is not something that you approve of, they may do Trishanku Swarga Tapas, hanging upside down tapas. Will you budge? Learn, don't budge. If you think that they are not qualified for it, who decides whether they are qualified for it or not? Whether they can handle it or not? You as parents decide. If your child is asking, he is in elementary school, he is asking for a motorbike. Oh, mommy, please, do na. Acha beta, le. Do you give him a motorcycle? Chup. Take tricycle. At the most, you'll give them a bicycle. Will you give them a motorcycle? I know. What will their next comment be? You never give me anything that I ever ask. And yet, do you stick to your principle, whatever your principles are? Yes or no? Now, with respect to God, we behave like that kid. And we ask all these, I don't know what we ask. Funny things. And then expect Bhagwan to sit there and say, Tathastu, Tathastu, Tathastu. Do we sing Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva? And he has to take care of us as a parent. In our thinking, there can be partiality or lack of proper thinking or thorough thinking. But he never does anything wrong. Whatever actions I have performed, the results are also my responsibility. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever be the result. These are not fine print, these are bold print. Bhagwan's disclaimer. You do an action, you are held responsible for your action. Even if it is the smallest act, even if nobody is observing you, your internal account is taking stock of it. And who is whacking? Not Bhagavan. I am whacking myself. What do you call that? Boomerang. Huh. I throw it. I forgot about it. Not fair. Why me? तो तूने ही तो फेंका था. If you throw a boomerang, it will come back to you. At that time, if you are not being careful, and then blame Bhagavan. And that is why Bhagavan, all our Bhagavans are like this. Stop blaming me. And we continue to blame again and again. Lagaunga niche ek. That is what this hand means. My interpretation. ये पक्का बम्बैया स्टाइल कान नीचे बजाऊंगा मैं चल. Are you getting the sincerity of this shloka? But why do we think what we think? That he is responsible for our actions? Ajnanena avratam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Bhagavan very intelligently called us something all here. He didn't call us manavaha. What did he call us in the last word of this shloka? Jantavaha. If we don't apply our intelligence, then what are we? We are as good as Jantu. I am not saying it, Bhagavan saying it. I am just translating it. Don't look at me like that. No, what Jantu? No, Bhagavan is saying it. Tena muhyanti jantavaha. It is because of our delusion, born out of our not understanding this concept, that we are caught in our own actions unconsciously. Thought, word, and deed. Remember that story of that rishi? He did poke one insect sometime when he was 4 years old. Now write down a list of things that we may have done. It is not to fill in your heart with scare. It is to bring to our understanding the sincerity that has to be applied behind every single action, however trivial it may sound. Nothing callously performed. Anything callously, unconsciously performed will boomerang back to bite me when I am least expecting it. At that point of lifetime, I may have changed my ways of life. But that which I have started, that result will still be there. It will come back. Now, as much as I have put that fear in you, I'll give you a solution too. Solution चाहिए? नहीं चाहिए तो मैं चला जाता हूँ आगे. चाहिए? पक्का? हाँ. Okay. That was the key word that I was waiting for. In Kali Yuga, they say, I mean, unconsciously what you have done, I have no solution for it. But for those that which you have done wrong, consciously, if you can identify all the people that you have hurt, insulted, belittled, bullied, scarred their life, unconsciously you are not mature then, write a list. Put a sincere effort in seeking an apology from offering your apology unto them. Now, whether they forgive you or not, it's their choice. In Kali Yuga, if they end up forgiving you, then that action is completely brought to a closure. If they have not, then you have to face the brunt of it anyway. Remember about 6-7 years ago when I was gone for sannyas? I'd gone 1.5 months before. So that day when Guruji called and said that you will be given sannyas. So I sat down and I called up a Mahatma Ji. Said, this is what my Guruji is saying. I've called up to share this information. And then he suggested this. He said, list out all those people that you may have hurt. Before you take sannyas, go find all of them and apologize sincerely. Whether they forgive you or not is left unto them. You put your effort in seeking the apology. It was, I tell you, it took a lot of courage to drop in on somebody cold calling and trying to remind them who I am. Many of them did not even remember what I was talking, did not even care about what had happened. Of the list that I had, there were at least 6-7 who did not forgive. But it was quite a challenging 20-day tour, because these people are spread all across. To identify them, thanks to Facebook, to identify all of them, trace them, and then go cold knock, reach out and sincerely apologize. भैया उस समय में ऐसा किया था. I didn't know better. Sorry. And there were some like, we are happy to see you, man. We don't even remember what happened then. What are you talking about forgiving? Okay, good. And there were some when I introduced, you, how dare you even knock on my door? I said, okay, maaf karo. All that it is boiling down is whether you have done things consciously or unconsciously. The result of it is coming squarely back into your lap. Responsibility does not mean just delivering what you have to do. After having done, to be able to face the results as well includes that responsibility, includes in that responsibility. And what is the second solution? He says, Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha. Tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. Is the sun shining out today? What happened? I'm not a 4-year-old anymore. He's saying white elephants. So what happened? Why am I not able to see the sun? So the clouds are covering. See, when I say clouds are covering, What are the clouds actually covering? Can they cover the sun? They are covering my vision, not the sun. You see the difference? I've flown a lot of times into Seattle. While I am at 30,000, I see clear sun. As the flight lands in and I get out into Seattle, it's all cloudy. 7 days, continuously cloudy. When do I see the sun again? When I'm flying back 30,000 feet, I see the sun again. These clouds are not covering that sun. They cannot cover that sun. What are they covering? They're covering my vision. Similarly, what is this ajnana covering? The ajnana is covering my perception. It cannot cover that Paramatma. How can this ajnana be removed? Because we are in a firm belief that in the name of some spiritual or religious practice, suddenly this ajnana can be removed. And the best of all, most hilarious, is I've had people who come and say, Swamiji, put your hand on my head. I said, why? I don't know what is on that head. I am skeptical. I said, why? I said, no, your vibrations, they will purify me. Give me peace of mind. And I'm amazed at that trust and belief that they come with. I'm not mocking that. But if that were true, I would put both my hands, both my legs on my own head. Why on your head? No shortcuts. और तावीज की महिमा, you know those amulets, they come on Z TV, TV Asia, Asia TV. What channel is that? TV Asia? The Indian channels that come. नहीं आते अभी? जो देखते हैं वो उन बताइए ना. So you have this Ajmeri Baba, Chamunda Swami. Does it ring bell? I said, is your business failing? Are your relationships turning sour? Is your beloved hating you? Is your health? Arey wah. Is your cell phone ringing? Then give $50 to this Baba. So if all these things are failing, call us, we have a enchanting amulet. Tie it on your neck, everything will be sorted out. Once Guruji, he was recovering after a surgery, and there was this old Amma in that house who used to watch Indian TV. And we just had finished our lunch. As we were walking, this advertisement was going on. And Guruji, in all sincerity, said, at that time I was still Uddhav, said, hey Uddhav, the number lick. And I was like, lick! I said, okay. I took out my phone, I started copying the number. Call kar. Like, he was all serious. Like, call now. I said, okay. I started. We had to find out if their methods are really working, then we can become their forwarding agents. Because we are also trying to give happiness. If that method is working that easy, then what are we doing here? Let us start taking their business and spreading it. They was mocking at it in a very practical way, saying that if Taviz was to really benefit, none of these work. What works is when we educate our mind in the right direction. And the sequence of it, if you want, write it down again. Clarity brings in conviction. Clarity brings conviction. Conviction builds the power in our will. When we say willpower, we have lot of wills, but no power. How does that power come? That power is the result of that conviction. Clarity brings in conviction, conviction brings in power in the will. When that power in that will increases and when I start putting actions with responsibility, my confidence in my own self increases. Now, what is the root cause? Where should it start from? Where should the change start from? Clarity. And even I joke about it so that you remember, at least through that joke. When there is nasal congestion, chest congestion, over the counter during the allergy seasons, what is the most famous medicine? Claritin. So you take clarity in, congestion gone. Remember? Similarly, clarity in, the confusion gone, conviction born. So now my question to you is, where do we get this clarity from? That's why I seldom ask questions. Thank you. See, he's our teacher. He knows the right answer. बताइए ना. Where do we get clarity from? Clarity is born from satsanga. What is satsanga? Satsu sangaha. Company of good. Whether it is reading a great Mahatma's autobiography or a biography, or reading a scripture, or listening to a satsang, listening to a discourse, learning those beautiful pointers, applying them in our day-to-day life. And the possibility of that clarity begins in satsanga. Therefore, Adi Shankaracharya ji again and again mentions satsangatve. सब इंटेलिजेंट है. You know, satsangatve nissangatvam. That which is blocking our vision is cleaned. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. In the last shloka, what was the word there? In the 15th one, tena muhyanti. Moha. That moha is removed. Delusions are removed. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. You are at peace. That sanctuary of peace is built within. Once that sanctuary is built, then those eyes radiate fearlessness. Because there is nothing in the outside world that can penetrate that deep to bring tremors of confusion ever. Nischala tatve Jivan Mukti. And where does it again begin? Clarity, that clarity which is born out of satsanga. Sometimes we are not that sophisticated enough for this kind of satsanga. Then life brings, if we are acting like Lankini, then Bhagavan provides Hanumanji. Do you know what Hanumanji gave as satsanga to Lankini? Diyo do satsang. He smacked her straight into her face. Kya? Hanumanji beat her lady? Lankini says, she catches Hanumanji sneaking into Lanka. And she says, my job is to protect this Lanka from any thieves or robbers. Hanumanji takes his original form and then doesn't even waste any time. Boom, boom. One left hook and one, what is the uppercut? Done. She just knocked out. And she wakes up understanding why he gave that satsang. If her job was to protect this Lanka from thieves and robbers, what was Lankapuri, that Ravana doing? Everything that he had acquired, wasn't it through robbing somebody else? So you have failed in your duty. I am quite efficient in both ends. Tell me which satsang you want. दोनों के लिए तैयार हैं हम. We'll keep it sophisticated. ठीक है. आप ऐसा मांग रहे हैं तो क्या करेंगे? दे देते. Because there is nothing more penetrating, more divine, more purifying than jnana, knowledge. That should be the focus. If I have taken true responsibility of my life, I should gear myself towards that clarity, wisdom, knowledge. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.